Okay, complex numbers. We've talked about these a little bit in what happens when a quadratic doesn't cross the x-axis. We get imaginary numbers. So if we're looking at this chart here, the square root of -1 is I. Okay, so you just got to kind of remember that. Square root of -1 is I. So the square root of -2 would be square root of 2 times I, or just square root of 2I. And it's important to make sure that that I does not go inside the radical. So, maybe write it I radical 2. That's how you can make sure that that I doesn't go inside. Now, the square root of -4, that's I times the square root of 4. But the square root of 4 we know is 2. So the answer to this one, simplest form, is 2I. And if we're doing I squared, which is square root of -1 times square root of -1, that would just be plain old -1. So I squared is -1. All right, moving on. So we'll do a handful of these. If you have questions on these, you can, of course, email me. Square root of 16 is 4. And square root of -1 is I. So that's 4I times 2, which is 8I. Okay. Jumping down to, let's look at this one here. Can't take the square root of 63, but you can simplify the square root of 63 is 9 times 7. So that's 3 radical 7. Now don't forget about that negative sign. So that would be 3I radical 7 times -1/3. So we're going to multiply -1/3 times this, which would be -1I radical 7. So whenever you see a negative inside the radical, you just put an I outside. And this comes in handy when we're solving equations. So I would subtract 75 from both sides, -75, -75. That gives me 3x squared equals -75. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. X squared equals -25. But you got to take the square root of both sides. So that would be x equals plus or minus. Hold on, let's redo that. X equals plus or minus 5I. So why don't you try some of these for classwork if you missed the Google Meets. These top ones are what we did. Okay, so 18 to 25, these problems right here. Okay. All right, have a good day.